Hello, my name is John Michael Ream, the coordinator for the Center for Student Organizations, and we are excited to officially launch AUinvolve for our student organization leaders. Today is September 24th, and you will have exactly 1 month from today to complete these steps that we're going to outline during today's presentation. To begin, you will need to go to auburn.edu/AUinvolve. This is a copy of what the front page will look like to you when you first log in or when you first access the site. To log in, click on Login in the top right corner. You will be asked to enter your Auburn username and ID here. After you enter this information, click Sign In. You now are logged into the system and will see what, this is an example of what you will see for the first time when you log in. To review what is on the screen, in the middle you have the cork board, which has all of our flyer information. As of right now, when the screenshot was taken, no one has inputted any events that are upcoming within the next 2 weeks, and so there are no flyers there, but typically event flyers will be there, which we'll speak about later in the training session. And below the flyer board you'll see the elections or the news feed. Well, for this instance, the student government has posted some information about Elections Council. To begin editing your profile and starting to use the system, you're going to want to go down the left screen here, or the left side of the screen, and we'll begin by clicking Edit Profile. This is the information that will be inputted, that's inputted automatically once you log in. So we're going to want to update your profile information first. You may change your first name or your last name to go by whatever you do go by. We do ask that you do use a real name and not a name that is a nickname of any type, because this will be how we recognize you in the system. An example of this would be if your name was William, but you go by Bill. That would be definitely appropriate to do. You want to make sure that you also update your preferred email address. The email address is the way that you're going to be receiving communications from the system. You are automatically going to have your Auburn email address in there. You cannot change your Auburn email address, but if you would like to receive emails at an external email site, you're welcome to do so. Next, you want to update your profile picture. The profile pictures are shown on all the rosters, events, just various different ways for students that are members of your organizations to recognize your face and to begin to associate you with the organization. You also need to complete the additional information fields. These fields are not required, but do allow us to learn more about our students for assessment. Okay, going down on the left side again, click on Privacy Settings. These are the defaulted privacy settings in the system for your community directory settings. The directory settings are just the basic information that all students can see about you. Your profile picture and your campus email address are defaulted as something to show. You may choose to hide that if you wish, or you may choose to show your preferred email address or your mobile phone number. Your organization roster settings are also things that you need to make sure that you update. By clicking organization roster settings, all of the rosters and the organizations you are a part of will appear. You can choose whether you would like to hide that or show that. It is defaulted as a show. Please make sure that all of your students in your organizations know about these privacy settings. We do want everyone's privacy to be respected. Continuing on the left side of the screen, click on Notifications. As I talked about earlier, with your preferred email address, email will be the preferred means of communication for the system. For general email notifications, you may choose to change which email notifications you do receive. I do encourage you to leave and encourage your students to leave all notifications on. Student leaders will be able to use their organization roster as a listserv to send out important organizational information. This will not be subscribing them to any additional spam of any type. The Office of Student Involvement will be sending out official means of communications through this, and so you will be responsible for reading the information that you do receive. The same with text message information. It is a one-way text messaging service. It is not something that students can respond back to, but this allows organizational leaders to send important last-minute changes to their members. I would encourage this to be turned on and completed. After you do complete that, click on Save. You'll be now taken back to the home screen where hopefully your profile picture and your profile will begin to start taking shape. The final step to make sure your initial profile is ready is to select your interests to find opportunities. Here is where you are able to rank a variety of different interests in a particular order so that you're able to find organizations and events for you to become involved with. Simply select one of the folders, select an interest, and rank them. You may scroll over one of the ranked interests to move them up or down. Now when you click back on home, you'll see that you have a profile picture and you're also beginning to get recommendations for organizations and events. Recommended events will appear on the front page of the flyer board as well as directly under organizations. Now that we have finished your personal profile, it's time to update your organization's profile. There are two ways to find your organization for the initial time. You may click under My Shortcuts tab at the top if you're already listed as a member, or you may select Organizations on the main taskbar. Once you select Organizations, click on Search and type in your organization name, abbreviation, or just partial names. This will bring up your organization in the organization directory. We're going to use the Student Government Association as an example of how to register the organization to the system. All organizations should be uploaded and you should be the primary contact already. If not, by clicking register this organization, you will become the primary contact. Click register this organization. And to begin the 8-step, very brief process of how to create your organization or to re-register your organization. These requirements will, as you can read, just agree to those. Just talk about what it takes to be in an organization and some of the requirements. Click Next once you have read and understand this. We're going to skip around to a few steps, and right now we're going to show how you can add positions. So we do encourage that you do have to have one president for all of your organizations. So here's where you would add the position of president, put the email address for the president and the first and last name of the president, and click Add. You can also go ahead and invite all of your members through the associated school email address. Just type in their email address at auburn.edu with a comma. You must use actual email addresses and not Auburn University aliases. Skipping to step 4 is where you can update your profile picture for your organization. And step 5 is how you select the interest for your organization. As you remember earlier, we selected the interest for us as an individual. Here's where you can do it for the organization itself so that you may find members who are interested in these things. The more interest you have, the more students that will be likely to find your organization. Step 6 is where you select one category that you would like to best associate your organization with. And step 7 is where you complete the advisor verification so that we're able to make sure that we know who your advisor is and that we have their information updated. Please understand that by submitting this advisor form for verification, the registration process will be halted until the advisor is verified via email. And finally, step 8, to update your dues and income information. If you do not charge dues to its members, you do understand that you can check that box. Or if you do, please check the appropriate box and agree to the signed financial policies outlined in the Student Organization Handbook. After completing step 8, you will review your submission for approval for your re-registration. You may click on each of the steps to review or make any changes. If there are no changes, you must click Submit for approval or delete submission. You may not go back and sit to your saved work after you exit this screen. After you submit for approval, you will be submitted to the Office of Center for Student Organizations for us to approve your submission. We will do that as quickly as possible. Then you'll be able to update your actual page. What you're looking at right now is a blank page for one organization, the Office of Student Involvement, and I'd like to step you through very briefly the different things that are on this page to make your page look better. First, you'll want to add a header. You may have as many header images as you would like. To select add a header image, click on manage. This is where you manage the interests, and you can also manage the styles or the header images. Select header images under manage. Header images must be 960 pixels by 150 pixels. You can make the pixel sizes, you can dictate those pixel sizes in Paint, the Paint program if you would like to, or in any other photo editing system. After you select header image, it will be added in if you have multiple header images, it will change per click. Next, we want to update the roster. Hopefully you invited some students to attend your roster when you were registering. This is an example of what the public roster will look like to students. In order to make any changes, you will need to click on Manage Positions. This is where you can create any new position that you may have for your organization. So if you have a secretary, if you have a historian, or if you have any other types of members you'd like to create, you can create these positions. To do so, click on Create a New Position. If you want to create different access levels, you can give them no access, all access, or limited access. As you can see here, you can select what types of access levels these students have to manage the organization. Clicking back on roster, we're taken back to the home screen for the public roster. Click on Manage Roster. Now you're in the Managing Roster section where you're able to see the current roster, any pending invitations, so these would be the people that you've invited, or prospective people who are asking to join your organization. If you want to select or to assign a position to a student, click on Edit Position and select the position that you would like to assign them. Now that officer is showing at the top of the public roster as an officer of the organization. Very briefly, we'll go through all the other different things onto the left side. The events portal is how you submit your event request form for your events for approval. We do ask that any event that you're having, you do put in the system so that more students are able to attend it and so that we're able to track it. You're able to upload photos to a photo gallery, use documents as like a Dropbox type thing, forms for applications or surveys. And this is also an example of what documents would look like. On the Office of Student Involvement website right now, we have many of our resources and our logo images updated for you to download. Please remember that when you are creating your header image, we ask that you put your appropriate AUinvolve icon in the bottom right corner. This also goes for any other types of publicity. You may download this, the organization resource manual, organization fund requests, or any other documents that you feel that you need. Including this slideshow will be located on the document slide of the Office of Student Involvement. I know that we went through this very, very quickly for time's sake for video purposes. Please contact me if you have any questions. My email address, office location, and phone number are listed on the screen. We hope to have all students online by October 1. All organizations must be updated by October 24th, or you will be put on probationary status. Again, please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or attend one of our in-person training sessions where this same information will be going over. Thank you, and War Eagle.